What we're seeing is a little bit more of a leaving budget as it is, but redirecting spend, reallocating spend, and trying to get more value out of spend. So in most cases, we're seeing 4 to 6% on average is the allocation, depending on the industry sector, depending on margins, and depending on the need for more investment in driving acquisition or engagement company. Most companies are reporting they're spending around 10 to 12% of their budget on digital. Digital, of course, has, technology today is pervasive across all areas, and a lot of traditional media are technology driven. So if you're doing, an ad buy with a cable network, you're also, getting a multi-screen buy because they're going to have their website, they're going to have their mobile, video offerings. So, in some respects, it's hard to make digital a separate unaligned part. There's also the buried cost of your owned media channels, which is the websites and so on, which tend to be allocated internally and maybe often to the IT sector. But we're definitely seeing a shift of dollars towards the effectiveness of digital in the sense of immediacy, ability to be more flexible, adaptable, more trackable, more measurable, more actionable. And I think this coming year you're going to see a huge shift of dollars towards the mobile channel as more and more people become device-centric, device dependent. Sophistication of those devices increases. The broadband capacity of wireless networks improves. So you'll see more and more shift towards real-time, on-demand interaction and personalization of communication through handheld devices. Well, clearly the marketers that are looking for infrastructure spend. So the emerging high-growth economies, particularly in Asia, you'll see, of course, China is a big swallow when it comes to potential business opportunity. Many of the traditional, what I've heard in my interactions in Asia, is a lot of companies are eyeballing China, but they're finding it, a very difficult, complex, complicated market to get into. India, of course, has a little shorter term opportunity. It's a little more language friendly, a little more easier to get into India, although India as a market has vast complexity. The Middle East is emerging as a very interesting area for development, as is Sub-Saharan Africa. And Sub-Saharan Africa in particular, we're talking here about Nigeria, Tanzania, Senegal, Kenya, that being more West, Central, East Africa. Southern Africa, of course, is very stable, and it's a growth area, and a lot of geo-expansion is coming from companies that have got a bridgehead in South Africa, are looking to expand across the continent. In Latin America, of course, Brazil coming up. In the next few years, they'll be hosting 2 mega sports events, the World Cup, Football World Cup, and the Olympics. There's a lot of good vibe coming out of Brazil. Their commodity export markets are growing tremendously, so they have a lot of opportunity. So I think really the focus is Africa, Asia, and Southeast Asia in particular, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam. These are interesting go-go markets that don't get as much attention, but their infrastructure build requirements are huge, and in most cases are being satisfied by Japanese, Korean, and Chinese companies. So the folks that are the first movers in those emerging markets tend to come actually out of Asia themselves. And even in Africa, we're seeing Indian companies, Chinese companies, Japanese companies, Korean companies really jumping ahead. And they're willing to take risk. They're willing to compromise in how they do business. And there's a huge, I think the American and European companies are going to be hard-pressed to keep pace with what's going on over there. There's definitely a new type of CMO coming into organizations, particularly in B2B organizations, because of the complexity of marketing in B2B, multi-tier distribution, the need for greater focus on product innovation, product development. So, better alignment with the different, consumer products. It's a cookie cutter, out they go. But with business systems, business products, there's a lot of hand-holding, there's a lot of need for customer co-innovation, a lot of need for aftermarket support, a lot of need for building channels of distribution and delivery and support. And these are where we're seeing a new type of CMO with a lot more operating experience, maybe had regional operating experience, may have field marketing experience, may have a line of business experience. But we're actually seeing CMOs with business backgrounds coming in to run marketing, and they're bringing with them a lot of customer-facing experience, a lot of operational knowledge, a lot of relationships across the organizations. So their role as a CMO leader is becoming greater, and also the linkage to the CEO is tighter, which is also helpful as well. So the type of senior business marketer we're seeing are the folks that come out from having diverse global backgrounds and operating experience, P&L responsibility, and also experience in developing products and taking products to market, and also selling products and interacting with